And now, HamRadioConcepts presents another exciting amateur radio video, keeping ham radio operators informed with a thorough look at the new products. Now, here's your host, Eric, KJ4YZI.
Hey everyone, this is Eric with HamRadioConcepts. You recognize this name, right? I've done a couple videos on Luiton radios. This is the LT-580. This is the VHF 60 watt mobile. Do not pay attention to the picture on here that shows UHF. This is VHF. They make a UHF model, but this is a 60 watt FM VHF transceiver from 136 to 174 megahertz. A solid 60 watts with a lighted remote keypad, microphone, software, and programming cable included. Everything to get you going. The quality of this with the audio and the power is superb. This is going to be something comparable if you're looking for the Yaesu 65 watt model. You might consider this, even though I'm a Yaesu fan, because it seems that the Yaesus don't have the audio quality lately that something like this does. I'm really impressed with the speaker design on this. I'm really impressed with the audio quality. So I'm going to open it up quickly, and then I'm going to give you some on-air testing, some power testing, and how to program it. All right. But I just want to show you what's in the box. It's rather a large box. All right. But of course, you can see that the manual. Okay. Quite a bit of pages in here. It shows you. You want to read this because this is a little bit different than some of the mobiles you might be familiar with. The microphone, I have the power cord underneath. Again, the programming cable and software. This cable has this end on it, so it's not the same as a Bowphone. Okay, it's got the 3-pin, 3 connector, 3.5 inch, 3.5 millimeter stereo mic, a stereo end on it. Okay. Programming software. The mounting bracket is under the radio. The screws for the hardware are under here for mounting the radio mobile. And let's take the mobile out and check it out. Okay, and you might be, let me move this box here. Get this out of the way. And you might be familiar with what this looks like. This looks like a lot of different, they use the same case design with the buttons here, all right? 8-pin modular microphone, a data jack on the front. The data jack on the front is for the programming cable. What I am told is the data jack in future models may be used for data such as a Motorola or like packet APRS and such. Volume knob on here, channel knob, okay, you have your power, function, priority 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are function buttons. You can set those for different things, I'm pretty sure, in the software. But right now they have different settings on them. Okay. The top of the radio, you can see it's like the whole chassis is incorporating a heatsink. All right. The speaker is top firing speaker with no waterproof membrane on it to really make it sound horrible. It sounds good with it being an open top firing speaker. Looking at the back of it, you know, the big old heatsink here for the final output transistors in here, 136 to 174 megahertz. Your SO239 for the antenna connection as normal. The power lead, which is fused, and your external speaker jack here, and there's a jack here for DC in, and they show a car charger, cigarette lighter plug with it, but I don't think that'll handle the full 60 watts because it'll pull about 8 amps or 10 amps at 60 watts. So you want to make sure you have, if you're going to use that. I'm not familiar with that, so I'm not going to really tell you what to do with it. So let's get into action and show you the radio in action and the power outputs. Looking at some of the menu options, you know, holding the function button up here will put you in the menu. Now, it does appear a little bit different than some of the, you know, a lot of these imported mobiles, I can, you know, pretty much find my way through the menu with the things I need. There's some things on here, you know, 2-tone, 5-tone, which you really won't use in the amateur world. Squelch, you know, power high, you can kind of discriminate some of those things. But some of them you need to read the manual. Like this is Compander. You might think it's compression. It's kind of like the same thing. It reduces the background noise if you're in a mobile environment. But there's some things in here that I haven't even gone through the menu. Timeout timer, that's a familiar one. Automatic power off. The squelch, scan, the lamp. And then if you want to make a change, like tone burst, 1750 hertz. Let's see, if we go to like tone, I would hit function. Let's see. There you go. You just turn the knob. Okay, DTMF 2-tone, 5-tone. Alright. Function. Then go to, say, power high, low, medium, high. You know, it's a little bit different than when you hit menu, select what you want, hit menu, get in the store, then exit. So you just gotta be familiar with it. But a lot of the functions that you're needing are in here. All of them are. CTCSS, repeater offset. You could do it from the mic by hitting function, and then the quick button, number 1 for squelch, number 0 for power. You know, right from the mic. There are also, if you hold like number 4, there's your 600 kilohertz offset for VHF repeater, and then if I hold 4 again, it takes off the offset. Hold it, plus 600, minus 600, no shift at all. You know, so some of the things can be done from the front of the radio as well. Holding number 1, clone mode. Now you can clone this radio to another LT-580 with the cloning cable. But it seems the only way to get out of clone is to hold the power button, turn it off, and then turn it back on. All right. So other than that, though, it does do what you need it to do. It just takes, it's a little bit different. It may be the same as the TYT version. I haven't played with the TYT version, but other than that, read the manual. That's what the manual is for. Manual, and to really get all the program into it for all the repeaters, you want to hook up the software. We'll check that out at the end of the video. So my antenna is doing good today. You might have seen in previous videos I had a little higher SWR. You know, down at 145.725 power test, 60 watts. My SWR today is only 1.4 to 1. I go up to center of the band, 160. If I go up to simplex, roughly, I don't have the step set right for simplex, but closer to 146.52, 60 watts. Great for simplex communications. We'll go way up to the top edge of the band, 147.98. A little over 60 watts. High SWR came up, but that's expected. So you're getting your 60 watts from one end of the band to the other. Let's go all the way back down to 145. $60 watts. I mean, if you look at the meter straight, 60 watts. A true accurate test would be in a dummy load, but you're seeing, I mean, you know, with my antenna, which is not the exact way you'd want to test it, 60 watts all the way across. Perfect. All day long, 60 watts. A lot of people want a high power mobile, and 60 watts.
Either the transmitter or the receiver. So yours is crisp, clean audio, not a lot of bottom end, and an adequate amount of mid-range, not a particular amount of high end. I'm listening to you on a Yaesu FT7900, by the way, which has an external speaker, so it usually gives me a pretty good opportunity to hear what audio sounds like.
Yeah, I understood. I couldn't find anybody on the radio. I mean, I talked to a couple guys on Simplex with this about a week ago, and they said it sounded pretty good. I mean, I don't ever know how I sound, but you know, honesty is the best policy here. I'm just you know, as long as it doesn't sound like I'm in a tin can, you know, because that's what some of the China models sound like you're in a tin can, and it makes it really hard to understand, you know.
Agreed, and I think that typically goes hand in hand with the amount of waterproofing. I know some of the handheld rigs are waterproof, and the only way that they can get them waterproof is by putting some kind of a plastic coating in front of the condenser mic. And so typically those sound muted or muffled. I know I sense that with the ICOM D-Star microphones, even when they're used in the analog mode. But no, this is a crisp, clean, very nice audio, contoured just right for communications.
Yeah, perfect. Looking at the power meter, I'm impressed because it is dead on 60 watts, and it's from 145 to 147.9, dead on 60 watts. I mean, you know, a lot of people that look at videos, they want to make sure that they're getting the full power. I'm keen on it still. It's not fading. It's still solid at 60 watts. I do have a 1.4 SWR roughly. Today it's good. Yesterday I had a 1.8 to 2 SWR, so I got a loose connection or something wet. But you know, transmitting this long, it hasn't faded one bit, and I love the audio quality of this thing. I mean, the speaker, it's sitting on top of a power meter right now, and it's rattling because it's sitting on top of a metal power meter. But when just sitting here in the room, it really sounds very bassy and very good. You know, I mean, compared to when I made the video, the 7900, that one I had, the Yaesu 7900, that thing was just, you know, just distorted and you know, beat up sound, and the speaker sounded like it wanted to jump out of the top. You know, KJ4YZI.
Well, even in this little Yaesu 7900 that I'm talking to you on, if I use the internal speaker, it's disappointing. I would say it would be totally inadequate for mobile usage. I have a friend of mine who's a broadcast engineer who told me that he feels that the Baofeng, which he's taken apart and looked at internally on some of the handhelds, apparently they're modularly made. So there's a frequency synthesizer section, there's then there's the basic motherboard, and then there's a power module. And he said it's amazing to him that these transceivers, which in many cases will go out of band, you know, through the whole business band, weather band, and whatever, and they seem to be flat. And his words, not mine, they're flat from DC to green light.
Well, you know, I haven't taken this apart. As far as your comment on the 7900, yeah, I had the same problem. In fact, the 7900, there was two of them I had. One was from Amazon, which was actually a replica of Yaesu that Yaesu says they did not make. And that one sounded better than the authentic Yaesu. And I'm a Yaesu person, but the speaker in that was just disappointing. Totally. But, hey, Jim, I appreciate the on-air testing. Loving the radio here. I'm going to get into programming and check it out, you know, see how the programming software is and how easy it is to program. But it's a nice little radio. You have to check the video out on YouTube. KJ4YZI with W2JKD.
Well, Eric, I'm on your blast list for your videos, and we love every one of them. Watch them faithfully because you've taught us a lot about ham equipment and what gear to buy. Make some wise decisions. So thanks a lot for these. Good talking to you, partner. Take care. KJ4YZI from W2JKD. 73 for now.
Looking at the mic here, it looks, I mean, exactly identical to the TYT microphone. It's got your lock switch, your DTMF. It's lighted. It's got the up and down on the top of the microphone here. Up and down, so you can change frequencies or memories. The quick settings there, you can hit function and number 9 or number 8 for your repeater settings, function 1 for your squelch, function 0 for the power, high, medium, and low. So you control a lot of it from the microphone. So let's get into some programming here. A lot of people, when they watch these videos that I have, they always have a problem finding the software or installing it or using the programming software. I am on Windows 10. I have tried it on my other hard drive on Windows 7. It does work on both. Windows 10, though, if you go to the site, Luiton.com, okay, to find the software, go all the way down to the bottom. Click on download right here under company info. And all the software for the radios, including the catalogs, are here. So you scroll down here on the right. So you get to LT, where is it at? LT-580 software and driver right here. Okay. So click this. Once you install it and install your, you put in your USB programming cable, which is a prolific, so it should meet up the same way as the Bofengs and everything else you're using if you have these radios. If not, the USB driver is in that software package. You'll install it and see an icon right here, TM580. Go ahead and open that. I have my radio on, just in regular mode without it being on a repeater. Okay, and basically you'll go to Setup and Set COM. You will pick a COM port. The two that are highlighted, mine is COM 5, but you might have one that says COM 3 or whatever. But research on how to find your COM port if you're unaware. And mine's COM 5, and very simply, I click Program, and I click Read from Radio. All right, and away she goes. Now it's going to start reading. It takes about a minute to read. And it's pretty much the same as all the other programming softwares, just a little bit easier. I mean, it's laid out really. You don't have to mess with some of the features that you're not familiar with. We're just going to set up the basics to get you on a repeater and to set up a simplex frequency. Very simple. Once this loads here and downloads all the information, which is really nothing there right now, but this does this every time. We'll get to it. Takes about a minute. I should have fast forwarded through the video, but okay. There it is. Read complete. Okay. So total amount of channels, 200. All right. Up at the top here, I have one programmed in for a repeater. Let me show you real simply. If I just want to put in 145.130 is the receive. The transmit is 144.530. No, I'm sorry. 145.730. There you go. So it's a positive offset. The repeater ID is AB4AZ. That's Richard's machine. I like to set the step at 5 kilohertz unless you have otherwise. Channel interval, I'm not sure what this is. I'm going to leave that where it is. All right. I haven't seen that on other versions of programming software. If you know, leave a comment below. Transmit power, high, medium, or low. The decode and encode. Now, you only really need encode unless you have a fusion repeater and you don't want to hear the digital noise that people use, because the fusion operates analog and digital. So unless you want to block out everything except the analog that people are using with 107.2, leave this out. Or else, like I said, you could set this 107.2 if you have a fusion repeater or whatever your tone is. Opt signal, not sure what this is. It's something to do with 2 and 5 tone. We don't need that. And if you click more, you click the little arrows here. It's just basically a channel edit. It has the same functions here. Compander, if you want to set the basically the voice compression or the compander, whatever they call it. You know, all this stuff here can really be set up here. But so I don't need to do anything here. I'm just going to hit OK. And I'm going to do a simplex. We'll do 146.550. Same frequency. We'll just call this simplex. Whatever, 510. And no tone because it's not a repeater. All right, and that's it. When you're done, very simple. Click Program, hit Write to Radio, and OK. There it goes, right into the radio. That's simple, right? Not a big deal. Again, this is Windows 10, and it does run on Windows 7. I don't know if it works with Chirp. I doubt it. So you might just be better off using this programming software. If it works with Chirp or someone's going to build a Chirp version for it, have at it. Overall, a great radio. I like it. You can set the backlight blue, orange, and purple, I think. One for transmit, one for receive, one for standby. But definitely a great radio. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it operates. You know, it's not, after all that talking, it's still just a little bit warm. After an extended talk period, it will get a little hot. So if I were to revise anything, I would add a fan on it. Automatic fan on the back. But other than that, it's good, solid radio. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was informative for you. Check out my other videos and all kinds of other gear. I got the other little brother, call it, to this video, the LT-580, coming up. And check out the other ones. Subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and 7.3 from KJ4YZI.